Welcome to episode number 2. This is my weekly vlog here on The Simple Fix. It's a little bit of insight into me, a little bit of behind the scenes, and basically just practicing the craft of chatting to the camera, chatting to you guys. So this vlog, I'm currently filming it at 8:30 on a Sunday evening because I put off filming the vlog the whole week because in true fashion to when I normally start things, I was like, I'm doing it, and I did it, and I did the first one, and I did the first week, and then the whole of the second week, all I kept thinking was, oh my God, now I've done one, now I have to do more. What if there's no point? What if it sucks? What if no one ever listens to it? What if no one ever watches it? And I have to keep like circling back to the reason that I'm doing this. The reason I'm doing this is, okay, yes, number one, I am trying to build up my channel, fine. But more importantly than that, I am just trying to practice this craft of sticking to something because I want to stick to it versus only sticking with something when it's, you know, like good and working and printing money. So hopefully one day I'm watching this back and I'm super, super thankful that I started. I do believe that that will be the point. But until that day, here we are. It is a Sunday evening. It is the 8th of February, 2026. And it's been a pretty hectic week, I won't lie. Like, I really struggle. Something that was on my mind a lot this week was how I struggle with not time management. I'm good at time management, but I struggle as someone who's self-employed and someone who's an entrepreneur. I struggle with like being okay with downtime or being like seeing the time in blocks in worth and not like panicking. So I think when you have like a set schedule set from someone else, like you've got to be at work or you've got like certain projects or whatever, I imagine that it's a little bit simpler to enjoy your downtime. So right now I'm in a phase of my life where I run my own business. I have for the past 5 working years in London. I have been, you know, for the most basic term, I have been a traveling PT. So I have managed my own time. I've always had a mixture of fixed sessions and clients and classes. So like things that can't be moved, that aren't up to me to schedule. And then managing a client list and therefore a client diary, which means things can happen whenever. Now this comes in handy because Stephen, my partner, works shifts. So we don't have a normal Monday to Friday anyways. We both work weekends. He works night shift. I work whenever. He works day shift. When we started dating, he first worked there was like a thing called back shift as well, which was like 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. So we've done a lot of moving around, and I definitely choose that. I definitely choose that to a stable. But what I've come to find with that is that I really struggle when things are quiet. But it is a goal of mine this year to embrace the quiet times for a number of reasons. So an issue that I've had pretty much since I, you know, began. And the issue with running a business is that if you do not make time for business progression, there will only ever just be the running of the business. And those two things kind of sound like the same thing, but they're actually super different, right? So the running of the business, the day-to-day, like that needs to happen, and that's kind of a full-time gig. And I'm the person like doing the sessions, going to classes, teaching the classes, like I am the skill, I am the product. So I have to be doing that work. But then there is a lot of business progression that I would like to do, such as this. So reaching out into, you know, different forms and exploring different things. And that should have allocated time, and it should be seen as work and investment, and it definitely is. But it's harder for me to look at it that way. So this is the first year that I've actually put time in my diary away to sit down and do these things, which is hilarious because the time I put down was not 20 to 9 on a Sunday. This definitely had its own slot in the week, which of course got taken up by something else that's more important or just more immediate. So the problem with doing things in a future tense kind of way, I guess it's kind of like saving money, right? You're kind of like, why would I let all this money sit in this account when I need it for XYZ now? And this is where kind of like that saving discipline comes in. And I'm trying to apply the same rules and logic to my investing in my sort of future plans for the business discipline this year. Now, not only is it challenging to say no to a client saying like, I can't see you at 8 a.m. on this morning because that's my, brainstorming block or whatever. I also tend to have a bit of like a warped perception of when we should and shouldn't work. And I want to just start off by saying that I don't really think that this is a bad thing. Like, this is a work ethic thing that I learned from my parents and my family, my grandparents. And like, I think it's a super important quality, and it is a quality that I look for in other people. Obviously, there are levels to it that I don't agree with, but the point is, like, you've got to work, right? You've got to work. There's no way around it. Like, you've got to make fucking hay when the sun shines, or whatever the saying is. And especially in what I do, like, you've got to train when clients want to train. There's no point in me being like, I only want to start at 9 a.m. Well, then I can't see anyone before they go to work. And there's no more point in me saying I don't want to work weekends because I'm in the like leisure and fitness industry. Of course I'm going to work weekends. And so you have to be realistic with like what you can and can't do, of course. But with that comes like, there's like this anxiety when you're not working, right? So taking downtime is a very like foreign concept. And I've noticed this with me and my partner as well. It's like downtime has to be like, we only take downtime if it's forced, in a sense of like, because we're doing something else. And like, that's still not really downtime, is it? Like, you're doing something else. Yes, it's not work related, but you're still doing something. So what I've been trying to lean into a little bit more this year is like to give myself enough space in the schedule so that I can actually enjoy off time, because I don't really struggle to work as much as I do. I just struggle when there's no like breaks or good downtime, as everyone does, right? And like understanding that difference between, I need rest versus I need something that is refreshing. I need something that is rebooting. I need something that's going to fill up my cup. Like, those are two different things. And often like I'll feel worse after just rest. My rest has to be very specific, and it's finding that balance of rest meaning I do something for myself, rest meaning I get enough sleep, or sometimes in my case, rest meaning I do nothing at all and just being okay with that. Anyway, so getting comfortable with rest is one thing. So I've given myself like the goal of having one off day a week, and that's a Saturday, and I'm really trying to not have any firm tasks for that day so that I can kind of do what I want with it. Even like at the moment I'm training for the marathon, and I've put like the long run on a Saturday because it's the day that makes the most sense. But I have also kept in the back of my mind that if I can do it on another day, then I rather will. And I just want Saturdays to be like a day where there's nothing like written in stone. So I could wake up and have a super productive day, or I could literally just do nothing. And I want to be okay with that. So then during the week, I've tried to allocate time to business progression, business investment, which is things like this, creating things for the YouTube. It's other things like creating more IP, creating courses, and teacher education, which is the direction that I really want to go into. But a lot of that feels very frivolous at the moment because, like, it's one of these things that requires time and dedication now, but I will only be seeing the fruits for later. So there's a bit of time in the diary for that, and I think I've done about a 50-50 job at keeping it. But of course, like, I have rearranged some clients into that time if they need me, and there's also the other thing of if I don't rearrange a client, I lose that money, which I'm not really comfortable enough with yet. And then there's the bigger question of, I feel like right now in my career with my clients and my client relationships and stuff, I feel like I'm being given a lot of space. I'm being given a lot of exits. Like, not like, I'm not being like fired or anything, but there's a lot of like, there's not a high demand. There's enough demand, but there's not a crushing amount of demand. And I'm used to having a lot of work to juggle and handle, and then I'm not used to being like, oh, so tomorrow I actually only start at 12:30, and that's fine. I'm used to like filling that time with work, filling that time with the paid hourly work, and that's how it has to be. So I've got this dilemma at the moment where my schedule is organically a bit quieter. And that should be a really positive thing, because at the moment I'm obviously delving into this. I'm delving into creating things for YouTube. I'm delving into creating content that is not right now giving any sort of financial remuneration. I don't know how to say that word, remuneration. But it requires a bit of investment, and if it's ever going to go anywhere, then I need to do this. I need to be doing this shenanigans right here. I need to be sitting and talking to the camera and then taking the time to upload it, and I need to be doing it. So I'm like simultaneously really thankful for a bit of space in my schedule. I'm obviously stressed though. Like, it's hard. I don't understand. I guess if you have the funds and the means to pay yourself for those hours, then that's maybe a bit different. Like, I had a conversation with a friend and a client the other day, and she said that I should pay myself, for my hours so that I can see the worth in it, which I do think is a really good idea, but I'm also not really in the position right now to just pay myself for dead hours. So that's hard. And it also, I get really annoyed with myself, because surely if I'm just given like a random Tuesday afternoon off, and it is rainy and I am tired and I don't actually have to do anything and I can just lie on the couch, like, that should be great and embraced. And instead I spend it stressed and like paralyzed with fear that my whole career is going to burn in front of me, and that I'm not working hard enough, and that I'm not doing enough in enough time, and it's just stressy. Anyway, I know I can't be the only one who feels like this, okay? I know I can't be the only one who's like constantly playing sort of like their vision board and their goals in their head, but then getting too exhausted from like day-to-day life to actually do anything about it. So then you take your rest time, but in your rest time you just think about how if you were using this rest time to do those other things, maybe you'd be doing those other things and not this. So it's like, it's tough. Anyway, at the moment I am actually reading a book called Tranquility by Tuesday, and it is about making more of your time. So it's not so much like a time management book. It's more about maximizing your time. I'm making it sound more time management-y than it is. I like it so far. It's a bit of a different perspective on your time. And I know people around me who I really look up to, who I think manage their time really well. I know that they have these little practices that help them maximize time. But one of the most interesting things that I've read so far in this book is the author talks about having things to do in your free time. So that the biggest mistake we make is that we want spare time and we want free time, and we just want time. And when we get given it, we don't know what to do with it. So we squander it, and then we're stressed about the fact that we've squandered it, which is exactly what I feel. So, having things to do in your spare time. I think for me personally, this also really comes down to scheduling. Like, I'm so in the habit of not actually putting things like this on the schedule and putting things like this in downtime, which they're not the same thing. Like, resting and creating content are not the same thing. Having a free day and having an off day are also not the same thing. And I caught myself a lot this week saying, oh, I've got an off. I actually caught myself on Wednesday saying that I'd had Monday and Tuesday off. Monday I had a slow morning at the house, but I got up at 7 and was up and sitting at my laptop by 7, and I was working, and I had 3 paid sessions on Monday. It was by no means an off day. And then on Tuesday, I left the house and I saw 5 in-person clients, got home by 2 p.m, but had a really lazy afternoon. So in my head, I was like, oh, you just had an off day. You just had another off day. Bearing in mind that I had worked like an 8-hour day on Sunday. And I'm not trying to brag about how much I work. I think I work as much as people should work. I have no problem with working. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I have this dysmorphia, this time dysmorphia, this work dysmorphia. And I've started to realize, like, it's not helpful. It doesn't make me more productive, because I end up squandering the free time. I either end up being like, oh, I never have any off time, so let me take this off time to just do nothing. Or I end up taking the off time and feeling so guilty about it, and then plowing, things into other time, and it just doesn't work. Anyway, so basically this whole vlog is about how I have no freaking idea how to manage my time, which is not true. I do know how to manage my time, but I find it really difficult. I can't be the only self-employed person out there who finds managing their diary difficult. And then also, like, you know, I want to enjoy the fact that every now and then I'm going to have a random Thursday afternoon off. Like, of course I am. Like, I'm also sometimes seeing a client at 6 a.m. and then seeing my last client at 8:30 p.m. Like, having a Thursday afternoon off is pretty normal for me. You know what I mean? It's just these weird constructs that we have. And just like, I almost like to believe that I don't have that many traditional constructs, but that is such a lie. Like, of course, we're brought up a certain way, and we're brought up watching constructs, like constructs of time and constructs of career and whatever. And I mean, I think in the world today, like, a lot of these constructs are melting, and that's leaving a lot of us like fucking confused and shitless. Like, what do you mean? Like, telling me that I could do anything, like telling me that I can sit here in my kitchen at 8:45 and film some videos and put them on YouTube and hopefully find like a like-minded tribe. That sounds fucking cool, but that's also shit scary. You're literally telling me that I can do anything. You're giving me the right and opportunity to do anything. And it could be successful. And with that is a lot of responsibility, because what if I just literally landed in a life where I was creating things and just enjoying myself and just literally following callings and passions, and it was making my living and creating the rest of my life for me? Like, that shit's scary. That shit's so scary that I almost didn't make the second video, because it's such a limiting belief for me that I just believe that that's not real, that that's not for me. But we are here and we have made the video. And if you've stuck around this long to listen to me ramble, then I just want to let you know that this content is only going to improve, and I'm going to try and keep it as honest and open as possible. And this week, I feel like I wasted a lot of my time, even though I know if I sat right down right now and I wrote down all the things I achieved, there's absolutely no way I wasted any time. I also, in my sort of like top brain, know that I definitely deserve any rest that I take. But there's still this really fucking mean part of me that's like, you don't deserve that rest. That makes you lazy. That's why you haven't succeeded. That's why you can't do this. That's why. And I really can see and hear that voice, and I really wanted to shut up, but it's still there, and I'm sure you have that too. And it's just strange that we do. Like, where the hell did that come from? I wouldn't want anyone I love to feel like that, so why do I feel like that? And the other things that happened this week that were notable was it took me 3 days to listen to my own second episode of my podcast, because I'm just afraid that I hate it. And I think whenever you're putting things out there, that this is always going to be the case. You just don't know. You just don't know how it's going to go. I also had a really great event at my house on Friday night, which was really fun. And it's the first time in a while I've just allowed myself to be like, let's get all the people you love together and just have a good time. For like no reason at all. It's creating a reason. And I'm pretty sure that this memory card is about to run out of space. If you're still here, thank you so much. And I am really looking forward to the week ahead, and I hope that it's more productive. And if anything, I hope that I just feel a little bit more peace. If you're still here, make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the other side.